Hello world, this is Shady Like a Tree, and once and for all, I finally want to settle the debate between the Microsoft Xbox 360, the Sony PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Wii. Now, for those of you who have not been paying attention, there is kind of a current system war going on, and there's not a lot of information out there for people who don't know anything about video games, who are buying systems for their children. So, or their friends or whoever, not just their children. So, what I've decided to do is I've decided to take a look at all three systems, and I have talked to the representatives of each company. I went to the Sony store, a local Sony store, and talked to their PlayStation expert, went to a local Microsoft expert, talked to their guy that does Xbox 360, and so on and so on. So what I've decided to do is I put together a little chart, and as I go through, I'm going to check off the winners, and at the end of this, we will determine which system is king. The first category here is the game selection. Now, Microsoft Xbox 360 has games like Fable, Halo, Gears of War, etc. Sony's PlayStation 3 has games like Uncharted, the Uncharted series, Infamous. They have the only MLB The Show series. They have Little Big Planet, mini games like that. And then Nintendo Wii has, the classics many of us are familiar with. Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Super Smash Bros., and the like. Now these games, they really come down to opinion. If you really, really like Mario and don't care about Call of Duty or, Halo or any of that sort of stuff, Little Big Planet doesn't, pique your interest, then definitely go with the Nintendo Wii. If you don't like Halo but you love Uncharted, PlayStation's for you. And if you're a huge Halo fan, go with the Microsoft Xbox 360, and in this situation, I'm going to give this all a push, because it really, like a lot of the other things, it just depends on personal preference. Now, as far as the next category goes, reliability, and I took several things into account here. I took into account average system lifespan, failure rate within the first 2 years, and just general, how often do they malfunction. And everyone knows about the Microsoft's Xbox 360 Red Ring of Death. But I determined that when speaking with not only the Microsoft guy and then doing some research on the internet, I found that the Microsoft Xbox 360 failure rate for the first 2 years is around 27%. Now, this number has gone down dramatically in the last 6 months or so, and further testing is required, but I'm going to call it 15% overall for the Microsoft Xbox 360. The Sony PlayStation 3 has around 8%, I've heard. That's just an average of all the numbers I've seen on various websites. And the Nintendo Wii has about 2.7% two-year failure rate. And each of the systems had an average lifespan roughly the same. So because of their relatively low failure rates, I'm giving this one to both the PlayStation and the Wii. The efficiency of each of the systems I took into account here because there are a lot of people wanting to go green. And as far as I can determine, the difference between the Microsoft Xbox 360 and the Sony PlayStation 3, if left on for 3 hours a day a year, costs you $11 for the 360, $13 for the Sony PlayStation 3, and it is a $1.85 for the Nintendo Wii. So that's kind of a significant difference. If you run them for 3 hours a day, playing them, and then you run them and you keep them in standby mode all year round, the Nintendo Wii costs $11. The Sony PlayStation 3 costs $138. The Microsoft Xbox 360 costs $124. So I give the edge here in efficiency to Nintendo Wii, but again, this is one of those things that doesn't really matter to those of you who aren't super, Nazi about going, maximum efficiency here. In this next section, the entertainment section, I look at the system as an entertainment kind of center. This is something that the Sony PlayStation does very well. It has the Blu-ray capability, and it also has a slightly more storage space for those of you who like to buy your movies online. However, all three systems are very good here as well, due to the fact that they all carry apps for Netflix, and I've heard rumblings that all three systems will soon carry apps for YouTube and other video sharing sites like that. But because the Sony PlayStation 3 was ahead of its time with the Blu-ray player, I'm going to go ahead and award them this category. The next two topics are something I'm sure all of you are very curious about. We have the network, which is the online capabilities of each system, and the cost of each system. With the network, The Nintendo Wii's network is really only good. Basically, it's an upgraded internet. I feel like playing online first-person shooters is rougher with the remote, and connectability will just make that tougher. So I kind of discounted that right from the start. I've tried it, and it just doesn't really go well. With the Sony PlayStation 3, you can pay $50 a year to get the PlayStation Plus, which gets you things like dollars off movies, games, downloadable content, etc. Or you can just go the free version, and you have to pay regular price for everything, but you still get the same internet connection you would with the PlayStation Plus. And then the network for the Microsoft Xbox 360, it's $60 a year, but it is a slightly better connection than the PlayStation 3 network, the PSN. Xbox Live is, again, $60 a year, so it's really up to you if you want to spend any money here or not, and how much, this is kind of a big deal for you. It's about the cost of one game a year, so, if you'll get more enjoyment out of it, then go ahead and do it. But I give the edge here to the PlayStation and the Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 is $109.99 for the 4GB model, and it costs about $49.99 for each additional controller. Now, all of this is in American dollars. It automatically comes with a headset that you can use for the online, which the PlayStation does not. The PlayStation is $299 for the 120 and 250 gigabyte hard drive versions. Does not come with a headset, and each additional controller is $54.99. The Nintendo Wii, retails for $109.99, and it does not have a very big hard drive with that. And each additional controller is $39.99. But many of the games also require an additional nunchuck, which is an additional $19.99. So therefore, because of the cost and what you need and what comes with the system, I award this to the Xbox 360. And the last and final category we have here is the community. Now, this is basically the people that are on the network, and I have to say that this totally comes down to personal preference. If you have a lot of friends on the Xbox 360, then go with that if that's what you want to do. If you have a lot of friends on the PS3, go that way. But if you really like the game selection on another system and really don't care about playing with friends and maybe making some new live friends or some new PSN friends, then go with the other system. This really comes down to personal preference and whether or not it's a must to play with the people you know. So now it's finally the moment you've all been waiting for. You want to know which system of the Microsoft Xbox 360, the Sony PlayStation 3, and the Nintendo Wii will come out on top. And I gotta say that after some careful deliberation and watching several internet YouTube videos, I have decided that, drumroll please, the winner of my best system for you is... It's a tie. There is no better system for you. Really, this whole debate comes down to personal preference, and I've given you a lot of reference points below. So if you're choosing a system for yourself, for your friend, for your kid, or for your parent, look and see what's interested you. Each system has a lot of good things to offer. The Xbox 360 is really good for hardcore gamers that maybe only want to use it for a gaming system. The PlayStation 3 is really good for those that like an entertainment center and Blu-ray capability. And for people with large families and old people who want to play the Nintendo Wii, that is the perfect way to go for families. And it offers you, some more kid-friendly titles than, say, the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation. So this has been Shady Like a Tree, and I hope you guys learned some things from this video, and that it can help you to make the right decision for you and your family. Take care, and until next time.